Welcome to Chopping It Up with Jason and Sherman, the home quarantine edition. What's up, my brother? How are you?
Doing great, doing great. You know, we have a little severe weather going on here in the
Yeah, I heard.
in the Midwest and South Midwest area, but so we're handling it. But you know, Sherm, as this becomes the new normal, the one thing that I can say about it is that find ways to make things better. And you know, I've been able to find ways to make things better through, you know, spending time with my family. So I've enjoyed a ton of family time, as we've talked about in other ones. But I'm going to be honest, I miss seeing my friends, and I miss seeing the Taekwondo community and USA's Taekwondo community in particular.
Yeah, it's I mean, we adapt and we make the best of it because we're stuck at home. So it's not like, imagine if we were trapped in Turkey, like we were for
I don't
university
want to
games,
imagine that. I don't.
and we couldn't get home. But we're at home, and I love the people I'm at home with, but I'm still confined. And so, you know, it gets a little old, but fortunately, I look forward to every week being able to join you and chop it up with you. I mean, I talk to you regularly anyway,
Right.
but I don't get to see you as much as we would in other circumstances. But, you know, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, man, I heard you guys had some crazy weather, but there's usually crazy weather in the southern
Yeah.
part of the Midwest.
Yeah. In Oklahoma at this time of year, we get a lot of crazy tornadic weather, as well as intensifying storms that come with large baseball and softball size of hail, and you just hope you're not out and
Yeah,
about at that time, because those are
right.
that's brutal. But I've been super excited to see the I guess the feedback we've received, and just the people watching our Chopping It Up home quarantine editions. We've had some amazing guests, which you guys know we're going to have an amazing guest today as well.
We
What's
have
up,
none
everyone?
other than Paige McPherson. We need an applause sound.
AKA McPherson.
AKA, better known as, right. Paige, how are you?
I'm doing well, just like everyone, trying to take it day by day during this crazy time.
Yeah, it is absolutely unprecedented. And there
Yeah,
is no way a year ago we would have known that we were going to have
absolutely
to be
not.
in this moment.
Who would have
So
thought?
I'll start with the easy. I'll start with the first question. How do you feel about the Olympic Games being pushed back a year? I mean, you qualified in the top 6
Hmm.
in the whole wide earth. You are one of the
Right.
top 6. I need us to people to understand that, because they say it so casually. Oh, she's just top 6. No. In the whole wide earth, she is one of the 6 best.
For 4
And
Right.
you have
years.
Right.
your
Right.
whole quad. You have dwelled in the upper echelon of women's minus 67. How does it
Exactly.
feel to be there, do the work, and then see the Olympics push back a year?
Oh, when I first heard the news, I was definitely heartbroken. As an athlete for the last 4 years, I mean, we've been focused on this date, this year, and we've planned our entire life for the goal of summer 2020. And to be at the final leg of the race, to have qualified 3 months later, you know, to be able to be into Tokyo, and then all of a sudden telling us that it was going to stop. You don't know what to think. You're angry, you're frustrated, but at the end of the day, you understand. These are crazy times. We've never gone through this in the history of humanity. And also the one thing that's really amazing is that it's postponed. This is the very first Olympics to ever been postponed. Everything else
Right.
has been canceled. So again, for allowing us to have another chance next year again is amazing. I would have definitely been more devastating had they canceled it. But another year, it's difficult. But again, we've had these situations, maybe not as dramatic in our lives, just in general, to where, you know, we plan for something, but then it doesn't go as planned. So now we just have to adapt and reset the route.
No question about it, Paige. And you talk about that adapting, and you talked about that plan was set for 4 years.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing now? What are you doing now to kind of stay on track? You know, you're pretty limited on probably on where you can go and who you can train with. So kind of give us an idea of how you're continually staying training in this, like you talked about, unprecedented time.
God is good. I think I'm in the perfect situation for this pandemic. Everything happened for a reason. I really like to say that. I'm currently now living at the Peak Performance House, athlete house. So myself and two other athletes, Quinn Simpson and Briseida Acosta from Mexico, who previously last month qualified for the heavyweight division. And so we're very fortunate because we are still under restrictions of staying at home and social distancing. But again, Coach Moreno has his facility and it's just only access to us. So we still are able to train on a daily basis. And if we are not able to go there, we have a backyard. It is 90 degrees outside though.
Yeah, it is Miami.
I'm trying to not work like that, in the future. But again, we're able to get into that warehouse and train on a daily basis. But again, our intensity is not as crazy and our schedule is not as crazy as before. Again, we have a whole new year. And it's interesting because it kind of brings me back to before 2012, where we never used to compete on a monthly basis, whereas Taekwondo has evolved to where competition, you compete almost 2-3 times a month, year round. And now we really have the time to go back to the basics and fine tune all our techniques and learn new tricks per se. And the crazy thing is to recover.
Right.
These last 4 years, especially in 2019, I felt the 4 years of competing and making it to top 6, on my shoulders. I was injured the entire year. Not a lot of people know that, but I had like 4 or 5 injuries that I was dealing with trying to maintain my top 6 status. So having this time to kind of settle down and recover and strengthen my body is a huge benefit for me.
Yeah, I can, and you bring up a really excellent point, Paige. It has been 4 years. It's been almost 8 years since we started this Olympic journey, and we weren't competing. You competed once every 3 months, maybe.
Yeah.
And now you compete 3 times in a month.
That's
right. You go to trials, Pan Am Championships, Worlds, the Olympics, and you have time to recover. Now there's no time. So I'm glad that you're getting to refresh. I mentioned earlier that we have a first, and we have the first U.S. Taekwondo female 3-time Olympian. Okay, what goes through your head when you think about there will never be another first one? There may be some other 3-time Olympians, but there'll never be another first one. You are the first one. How does that, you and your coach now will be 3-time Olympians.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
Yeah, that's impressive.
It's surreal. I'm truly humbled that I was able to make a personal goal bigger than myself. I hope at the end of the day I can encourage young women and men, young athletes, that it is possible to do anything. You can make history for your own personal journey. And again, my entire career, I was never the favorite. I've never had the advantage. I come from a small town. When I went to my first ID camp, I didn't even know how to do a fast kick. I was just a young girl from a small state that loved what she did and took a chance to pursue a dream, and it paid off. And hard work, having a strong tribe, and just persevering through everything can get you to things that you may never imagine. Again, I'm considered in 67, I'm considered the shortest athlete. I'm considered I weigh less than most of these girls. They cut to my weight division.
They're cutting down
Whereas
to 67, right?
I'm still like 3-4 kilos under the max. And I've always had to fight to prove my worth. And I think, in my opinion, actions speak louder than words. I've always been somebody that's kept their head down and let my actions and my accomplishments prove for themselves, rather than when things weren't going my way, speaking out or saying something, like trying to have this ego type of personality. I truly think that if you're willing to put in the work, you believe in yourself, you have your tribe, you do all the right things, you believe in God, anything is possible.
Girl, you just preached the whole sermon right there. I wish I had a keyboard.
That was good. I got my
Yeah, you have to go back and watch this and see when you write your memoirs. You have to include this section.
Yeah, it's very, very, very powerful words, Paige. I'm gonna go back. I want to take you down memory lane a little bit. So again, 4 years ago, almost to the month. You know, you went through the Continental Qualifier and qualified there. Of course, you know, we were there as a team, and then, you know, since then and before that, Olympics, you know, in 2012. You know, medals, and then of course since then Grand Prix gold medals and Grand Prix final medals. So all of these major accomplishments, if you had to pick one that was the most rewarding, or the one that speaks to you the most, what would it be?
Oof.
I know it's
so I know that winning a bronze medal at the Olympics is a huge accomplishment, but personally, and it's more known to everyone, but personally, my Grand Prix win in 2018, what is the pinnacle of my career, to officially prove that I am capable of being the champion, not a medalist. I mean, I've been a medalist for so many of these high caliber of tournaments, but to finally prove to everyone that I can be on top. And the Grand Prix that I was at, it was in Chinese Taipei. It was considered one of the most difficult competitions. One, it's the Grand Prix. It's top 32 in the world. The people that I had to beat in order to make that win, it wasn't some lucky day. I ended up being Matea from Croatia, who herself was before a Grand Prix champion. Right now, she's on fire as well. I had to beat the reigning Olympic champion from 2016 in the semis, and then finally Russia in the finals, where I was behind 6 points at the very first round, and I just gutted it out and made it to where I was the last person to choose. So again, it just proves that if you have the right people behind you, and you have the desire, and you also have the perseverance. At that time, I was 27 years old. And even before I started my journey for Tokyo, people always doubted me simply because of the age. How they would say, oh, well, she's 26, 27. You know, I'm sure she's now starting to settle down and stop her career and transition out of sports. Whereas me personally, I still feel like I'm 23, 23, and I still feel like I have a lot to prove and a lot to show and to grow. And so to really just say, hey, listen, I'm going to do me, and I don't care what you guys think. And I was able to prove that even at, you know, one of the oldest athletes in my weight division, I'm still successful. So
yeah, that Grand Prix win was big, and of course, you know, we watched them all, but it was huge for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
And I think it was a point at which some people had to lift one eyebrow and say, "All right, so maybe Paige still has it." Now, I of course remember you from 2009 and 2010, and I said then, you know, when Nia, you and Nia were in the same division, and I was this is the new and young version of you 8 years ago. And we recognize when the new lioness comes in, you just fade out, man. And so I'm glad to see over the last decade, the perseverance, the stick-to-itiveness. It's been a decade. That we've been, that a whole 10 years of your life has been spent fighting at the highest level. So listen, all right, enough of that harsh, serious talk. What do you do to keep your sanity in the middle of a quarantine, other than Taekwondo? So you don't get to say, well, I train, because no, that's not
Yeah.
keeping your sanity. What do you do?
Well, the good thing is that I live with others, so I have some social in my life. You know, I'm an introvert at heart. I like to stay at home, you know.
So this is working out great for you.
I'm not that upset, you know. Like, give me a good
I love
Netflix
it.
series and I'm good. You
I love it. Our membership
And
doesn't
there are
know
plenty
that.
of
These are good stuff.
Yeah,
This is good
there are
stuff.
plenty of them. Yeah,
there's
so
plenty of stuff to watch. So what's
yeah.
a recommendation? What do you have a
Yeah, give us
recommendation
one.
on what to watch? And even if you're watching ratchet stuff, it's cool, because
Oh
I
gosh.
guarantee you people will be like, let me watch that so I can be an Olympian one day.
You know what? I actually watched the series Tiger King. Have you seen it yet?
Oh,
Jason Pools lived it. He's been
come
there.
on,
That's in
come on!
Oklahoma.
I live in Oklahoma. I went to that Tiger Refuge in college.
Oh, you did?
We all
Oh,
did.
shoot.
You pay $20 and you can hold tiger cubs and see this. So I literally went there in probably right around 1991 when I went. 1990, 91, I think, is when we went there. I think, but I know we all went there. That was sort of it's only about an hour and a half drive to that.
Joe Exotica used to train at his dojon before he got locked up.
Yeah,
So
we've told everybody that he's like, oh, he used to be my neighbor. Like, we used to hang out. It's all been all over the place here, Paige. But yeah, it's pretty.
It's so interesting, and I mean, Miami is kind of our backyard. So I mean, Coach was talking about it and others, so I was like, all right, I'll watch it. It's crazy.
Yeah, the minute you think it can't get crazier, it does. And by the way, it's true, and that's what makes it crazier.
The scariest part is that's not a fictional story.
Right.
That's real stuff that really happened. So when we think our lives are crazy, you know, we got layovers here, we got to fly here, and just watch that, and then you're like, you know what, my life is normal because I don't have tigers.
I am so thankful.
Well, listen, Paige, we're grateful that you took a little time out. It's so great to talk to you again. We've known you, we've gotten to work with you, I've traveled with you, we've had some great Bible studies, we had some great prayers together. I'm so proud of you and the move that you're making and the stand that you're taking. I really think that you're ready to be a global ambassador for this sport.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
If that's the lane they carve out for you, run it. And I'm sure you'll crush it just like you're doing everything else.
They'll have you.
I'm ready for it.
Paige, congratulations on all your amazing accomplishments.
Thank you.
But also congratulations on being a great human being, because you truly are. And we recognize that as well. And we really do appreciate you taking some time to spend on chopping up with Jason and Sherman. We really do appreciate it so much. So.
Yes. Chopping up.
Oh, I wasn't. See, Olympians get you and you're not even ready. I'm only a global.
Again, thank you, Paige, again for your time, and congratulations again on all your major success. And I mean, it's going to be, you still have plenty left to do. I know that. So.
Yes.
And we're cheering for you, not next year, through next year.
Yes.
Whatever comes after
I'm
that.
sure I'll be seeing you guys soon. So
you know you will. We can't wait.
Same.
It is Paige McPherson, our 3-time Olympian here on Chopping It Up with Jason and Sherman. Again, thanks, Paige. Bye now.
Thank you. Guys, stay safe.
Sherm, another amazing guest here on Chopping It Up.
I loved it, man, because listen, that is an interesting story to look at the 2012, 2016, and 2021 Olympic Games, man. That's a long time. We talk about longevity in the sport. We talk about the ability to adapt and change styles. I mean, you're going all the way back to LaJust.
Right.
And body armor, like we're jousting, to now playing a different game. But again, when we fought her in 2009, and we had success at team trials, and in 2010, I was like, there's a difference. She's going to be a problem because she's strong in the legs. I'm glad she's healthy. Her back is strong. Legs are strong. Man, we're going to wish her the best, and we're going to root for her just like we do all of our Olympians. They're stuck with us forever, bro.
No, you're right. And I appreciate what you said about the new way of the World Taekwondo lifestyle, which is competing monthly and even twice a month and 3 times a month. It's so physically demanding on these athletes, and
it's exhausting.
You have seen some injuries come into play, but at the end of the day, that's the nature of this sport right now, and
Right.
something that Paige has said. Look, you know, I've had to do it. She's not only has she done it, she's persevered through it, had tons of success, and I look forward to spending more time with her all the way up through this next year
Yeah.
for sure.
Well,
So,
it should be good. It should be good.
so
All right,
Sherman,
man.
we've been chopping it up with Jason and Sherman, so I'm going to take us out. Sherman, I look forward to another guest, another surprise guest weekly, but we appreciate you, USA Taekwondo. So one, we want you to stay safe, stay healthy, you and your family, and of course,
Stay home
and watch Chopping It Up. And you don't just have to
and
watch
wash
it
your hands.
once. You can
You
watch
watch
it.
it
You
over
can,
and over.
of
Watch
course.
it over and over and over again. Every
And
time you watch it, go wash your hands right after you finish washing.
there you go. That's it.
All
You've
right.
been chopping it up with Jason Sherman. This is the home quarantine edition. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.
Peace.